Okay, so what is the scariest natural disaster? I know we've talked about this before, and we're in the heart of hurricane season right now. They had done a survey, smaller sample size, only 2,500 people, and this was all across America, and it seemed like a lot of the representation might have been in the Northeast and the Midwest. So they only have hurricanes down at number 4. 33% said that they thought that was the scariest natural disaster.
I just don't, because there's time to get out. You do have a few days to kind of...
You know it's coming.
Yes.
You know how big it is. You know what to prepare. Like, you have days. Tornadoes, to me, are the worst.
I gotta second the witch on that. To me, tornadoes are scary, and they can be spawned from a hurricane.
Yeah.
So you're getting a twofer.
Horrifying.
That's what the rest of the people surveyed agreed with you on that. Tornadoes, number 1, 46% said that is the scariest.
Well, it just comes out of nowhere. You got really no warning, and it can leave so much destruction. Not to mention, they look so ominous.
Last year during hurricane season, that was last year, right? That we had that 9 hours of tornado warnings.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yes.
That was really, really rough. That was more stressful than running from any hurricane that I've run from. Like those 9 hours where we had twisters on the ground in Palm Beach County, in Broward County, on the Treasure Coast. Like, that was horrifying because there was multiple tornadoes on the ground at once, and they're showing you, like, the meteorologist on TV couldn't even keep them all straight. There was so many areas of circulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember going through at least 2 storms last year or beginning of this year thinking, wow, this is worse than any hurricane I've ever been through.
Mm-hmm.
Stressful.
It just was. Yeah. I heard things really slamming against my house more than any hurricane ever has.
Well, it's because of the tornado. And so I could see tornado, I think, still needs to stay number 1 because you could argue, well, we get tornadoes and hurricanes. But I think just the overall tornado, and that was rare that we got to the level that we did. You know, just I got perspective of it because I was in Oklahoma City in February and kind of going around, taking Uber rides. It's kind of interesting. You get to talk to people who've been there for a while, and they said, yeah, that movie theater, and they love movie theaters in Oklahoma City because I don't think they have a lot to do. So this had like 45 theaters in it.
Oh, wow.
It was maybe the biggest I'd ever seen. They said a tornado actually went right down the middle of it on like a Friday night.
Oh.
Did the movie still play after?
Nope. Not in about 17 theaters.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's legit and that's real. If you ever seen the movie Twister, you kind of get an idea of what they deal with. And you really are just for 3 months out of the year, at least. You're kind of always on red alert. You just never know.
Horrifying.
Sirens are going off. You get the TV that's coming on. Be like, I don't know. You could be dead tonight.
The scariest part of Twister was Bill Paxton's acting.
Yes.
Oh, we got a tornado.
They put tsunamis at number 2 for the scariest natural disaster, and it's only 3 percentage points behind tornadoes.
Respect the tsunami. I think a lot of people don't understand the tsunami, especially if you're if you're in an area you're visiting, and all of a sudden the ocean's doing something weird. You're like, what's going on with the ocean? Let me go ahead and take a picture of this. And it's actually the ocean swallowing itself and coming back.
Well, what can be scary about a tsunami for me is that you have an earthquake some other place that triggers the tsunami. And where you are, you may not have really even felt the earthquake. And so you're just kind of chilling. And if you're about your day, you're probably not even looking at the water to notice that it's receding the way that it is. And man, when that water comes back in, it's unbelievable. I mean, we had the tsunami, was that in 2004, the one that was, you saw the visuals on that. So many people lost their lives. And then there was one in Japan I was watching. It just was insane how far it came to the inland. It was washing up over buildings and everything. It was just crazy.
There's a documentary that's one of the major networks have, but it's on YouTube now, and it talks about that 2004 tsunami. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people had their cameras rolling. So there's legit footage of what went down. And this one guy is stuck up in this like tree area filming. He's going, I don't know what's happening, man. It's just insane. And you just see houses and cars just floating by you.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. They put earthquake at number 3. 35% said that was the scariest natural disaster. And then our hurricanes were at number 4 with 33%.
If you got a big daddy earthquake going down, What's the length of that? Is that one of those, it's in and out for like 20 seconds, but it causes so much damage? Or can it go on for a while?
You'll have tremors that'll happen afterwards, so aftershocks and whatnot. So, yeah, the big part of it, and I've been through a few, they weren't overly massive. They were big enough. And it was maybe a 15-second type of thing where you just don't know what's going on, but you're like, after it clicks, you're like, okay, this got to be an earthquake because this thing starts shaking, things fall off the wall and of that kind of nature.
That was your earthquake era?
Yeah, I went through, in California, I had a few.
The one, and I'm not sure if Oklahoma is part of that tornado alley.
It is. That area. In fact, I think the area where I was is the hardest hit in America. It was around Norman, Oklahoma, that whole area, just a little bit south of Oklahoma City.
See, to me, I mean, they make it sound like there's a big tornado that hits every day. Now, I don't know if that's what it's like, but is it twice a week if you live out there?
You don't know, and that's the thing that people are worried about now is the frequency is increasing. The weather's been so crazy and it's been more intense that I think the frequency and the intensity, both of those things you don't want to see are intensifying in that area.
I wonder who's responsible for that. I don't know. AI. How do we make the weather worse?
Weather control.
Just don't ask Al Roker that question.
As we do our own little poll here, tornadoes running away with it. 62% of our audience's vote. Tsunami, they put it second. Earthquake third. Hurricane only at 6%. And maybe it's just because we're used to them.
Yeah, we are prepared.
Yeah, I think it is the least scary.
But I still think you have to throw Florida man in there. Just as something Florida needs to always be.
Most terrifying.
Just terrifying.
Most terrifying, without a doubt. They say the average person has experienced 4 natural disasters. I think I'm over the average.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
Yeah, me 3.
Okay.
I survived Hurricane David back in 1979.
There you go. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're still here.
Me too, Kevin.
Just being in Florida, you got to know that your likelihood of a shark attack is much higher than pretty much anywhere else in America. Tides chart was able to break down the shark attacks that have happened in this country since the year 1642. How they did that, I have no idea. I guess they were keeping records on this back in 1642.
They kept those old school journals.
You had a guy with a scroll and one of those feathered pens.
Right. And you wonder how accurate those things are.
Theodore just got bit on the buttocks. Can you get out the quill?
It's so hard to keep those dry too in a storm. Well, how do you keep that ink from running?
I feel like we can't get records right now in real time. We're going to trust records from the 1600s.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you trust it or not, but the one thing that does check out, and our modern records tell us, New Smyrna Beach is the shark attack capital of the world.
Yeah.
The numbers are insane. If you break it down, 9 out of the top 10 cities in America with the most shark attacks are in Florida. Not surprised by that. New Smyrna Beach is number 1. The numbers are what's insane. Daytona Beach, which isn't that far away from New Smyrna Beach, is well behind them.
Really?
Since 1642, there's been 277 shark attacks in New Smyrna Beach.
Wow.
And Daytona Beach, which is number 2, 67. They're 210 ahead of Daytona Beach.
What is it about the other was New Smyrna?
Because they know all the surfers go there.
Is there like shark reefs where they live?
I've heard a breakdown on it. I think it has to do with currents, and it has to do with the fish and what they feed on. They get closer to shore at New Smyrna Beach than anywhere else, and so it kind of creates this perfect scenario of shark bites.
And word of mouth, bro. The other sharks are saying, dude, this is where all the humans hang out. Let's get that taste.
They're delicious.
Yeah, just so you know, that whole area, though, is leading in Florida. You got New Smyrna Beach 1, Daytona 2, Cocoa Beach 3. So that whole part of the coastline, look out. Now, when you're talking about South Florida, Palm Beach is number 1.
Really?
If you break it down by that, it's number 5 in the U.S. behind Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, oddly enough. But there have been 35 shark attacks off Palm Beach since 1642.
And I imagine they would count any kind of shark bite, even if like one of those sand sharks bit your foot. They're going to count that.
Probably, yeah. Fort Pierce Inlet, they got at number 7. Jupiter Beach Park is number 8. There have been 23 shark attacks there.
Yeah.
Riviera Beach is number 9 in the country with 21. So we got several in South Florida. I didn't realize. I mean, again, this is going back to 1642, so your likelihood of getting bit by a shark still is not great here in South Florida. But
There's part of me that wants a little bit of a bite. Nothing fatal, obviously. Just a bite.
Whatever.
A small bite.
We pulled that prank on you in the Intercoastal where we had somebody with a fake fin swimming up in the water. He like Jesus.
I hate when
this man walked on water to get away, pushed down a female and stepped on her.
I can't tell you how much I hate her telling that story because that is not at all what happened at all. She saw it.
It's now turned into a myth.
Yeah, now all of a sudden Bird threw down a woman no, that's not what happened. You guys
I saw you pick her up and throw her at the shark.
Yeah, and then I did a body slam and then choke slammed her straight to hell. Like, that's such an insane story to say that did not happen. You guys did a prank on me. We were both in there and we both ran we both ran into each other and she fell in the water. You make it seem like I took her, threw her down and sprinted in the water, which is kind of annoying.
I've never seen a man move so fast.
And I've never seen a woman lie so quick.
Oh, it's turned into a legend now. What is the truth?
Yeah.
I think it's on video somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to find that.
Yeah, right.
Barely get our phones to work.
Yeah. That'd be great to break down that film.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.